And that's the last one. Well, you know what they say. Another day, another 0.000000001 bees coin. Thank God I got that raise. I mean, not to brag, but I've been working pretty hard lately. And I think the AI algorithm that tracks and monitors my performance is finally starting to notice. But this job isn't easy. In fact, all these wildly unachievable performance quotas sure are making me thirsty. Oh, sorry. Piss bottle. You see, I live in the hypothetical dystopian dimension where all of Jeff Bezos' nightmarish Amazon patents actually came true. Well, it's not Bezos anymore. Unfortunately, Jeff passed away in 2035 during a celebrity judo match with Mark Zuckerberg, but not before immortalizing his consciousness into Bezos Prime.
Thank you for being a customer. Also, f*** you, Mark.
But I digress. In this reality, Amazon got away with a whole lot more, like metal cages for employees, giant drone beehives, and even in-home smart speakers that listen to your every word. You guys didn't let that one happen, right? What? Oh, shit. Okay, your world might not be as safe as I thought. Listen, if you want to avoid all of this, you're gonna need to...
Attention. Employee number 25977 has experienced employment termination. Please make your way to office number 48B.
Oh my God. A promotion! Alexa, take me to the elevator. I'm going corporate. Long day, huh?
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
didn't
it's
quite
fine.
catch
Never
that.
cancel.
Are you trying to
Cancel. Wow. My own office. With a window! I could get used to this. But not that. That's better. I hope you're proud of me, honey. Well. All right. I think it's safe to talk. Now look, I know this world looks pretty sweet with all the cool robots and hot new consumer electronics, but to be honest, it's kind of a f***ing nightmare. Let me explain. You're probably well aware by now, but Amazon isn't just the world's biggest online retailer. In fact, that's not even the most profitable part of their business. Through a sequence of rampant acquisitions and diversification, Amazon has come to spread its influence within a myriad of industries, making it the closest a company has ever come to just flat out winning capitalism. Whether it's through home entertainment, consumer products, or most lucratively, cloud computing. Amazon's growth is all in an effort to fulfill Bezos' long-lived goal of making Amazon a, quote, daily habit. But you don't reach this level of rampant success without cracking a few ethical eggs. Since the company's inception, Amazon has been accused of an almost unending list of questionable business practices. And their former CEO hasn't helped things. During a worldwide pandemic and growing economic turmoil, you might have assumed the world wasn't really in the mood to watch a billionaire blast off into space on an extremely phallic-shaped rocket. But Jeffrey did it in a cowboy hat. So sure, Amazon doesn't really have the best PR, but it's kind of hard to keep a squeaky clean public image when your company is so blatantly poisoning itself for world domination. And one of the ways they're doing it is through patents. As of the time you're watching, Amazon owns over 30,000 global patent filings, and that number is expected to grow exponentially. But what's concerning is the content of some of those patents. You see, when an invention gets submitted to the US Patent Office, that idea becomes publicly available for anyone to see. And that lets us look right past Amazon's politically correct posturing into the bowels of their darkest desires. Seriously, this is some real mad scientist shit. I'm talking the kind of stuff an engineer forwards to his boss with just like 3 devil emojis in the subject line. It's just really, really wild. Now, it's important to note, just because Amazon owns a patent does not necessarily mean they are going to use it. But it still gives us insight into some of the insanely dystopian ideas the company is willing to entertain. And that's exactly what we'll be looking at today. So, in order to make things easier, I've separated these inventions into 3 categories: patents regarding delivery services, warehouses, and consumer products. Each idea meticulously designed to maintain Amazon's position as the world's first everything company.
Ms. Bezos, love what you do with Amazon.
Thank you for being a customer.
Okay.
Your response to that sweatshop accusation?
Well, we're a very enlightened company. It's not for everybody, that's for sure.
We are not anti-union, but we are not neutral either. We will boldly defend our direct relationship with associates.
You guys paid for all of this.
You will learn about the warning signs most commonly associated with early union organizing.
It is illegal to take down union literature when it's in a break room.
Why am I feeling so much like Sigourney Weaver?
There goes your stuff, right on time.
The companies that are the shiniest and most important, you wait a few decades and they're gone.
And your job is to make sure that you delay that date.
I would love for it to be after I'm dead.
In 2005, the Beaslers shocked the world of online retail with the release of Amazon Prime, a premium delivery service that promised 2-day shipping on over 1 million everyday items. For the iPad viewers, before Prime, most online retail was burdened by exorbitantly long shipping times, which made everyday online shopping completely impractical. But Jeff was determined, and eventually he managed to hurdle every financial, strategic, and ethical obstacle to make our dreams come true. Today, this guarantee is now the company standard, making Amazon hands down the most convenient online retailer in the West. But as Jeffrey once said, the customer is always divinely unsatisfied. And while I'm sure this observation is worded a little less kindly in billion-dollar boardroom meetings, he isn't wrong. That's why Amazon is looking to shatter the online delivery speedrun category with an entirely new strat. In 2013, Bezos introduced the world to the Amazon Drone Program, a high-tech new R&D initiative that aimed to replace a significant portion of the company's delivery vans with armies of flying robot bugs. You see, for Amazon, roads are kind of a pain. They clog up with traffic, restrict delivery routes, and you need to pay a human to drive on them. Yuck. But with drones, the sky's the limit. Well, actually, the FAA-regulated altitude of 400 feet is the limit, but still, there's a reason Bozo has blown billions on the program. There's a reason Bozo has blown billions on the program since 2013, and that's because he believes drone delivery is the key to Amazon's decade-long goal of 30-minute delivery. But so far, it's been a bit of a slow start. Like and subscribe. You see, Amazon was all ready to get things moving with the drone program. But first, they needed to propose their plan to the Federal Aviation Administration. They're the guys that regulate airspace, conduct inspections, and make sure Boeing's planes don't fall out of the sky. Is it a bad time to bring that up? Unfortunately, Amazon's meeting didn't go quite the way they planned. All right, Jeff, got your proposal here. Everything is outlined beautifully. Really though, everything looks great. We've just got one small problem. Oh man, you're gonna hate me. We don't have any laws for this yet. And so began a decade-long legislative slog that Amazon's drone program is still battling with today. But it's not just laws that are holding the company back. It turns out that even after over a decade of research, Amazon's drones, they still kind of suck. Unlike delivery vans, drones can only carry one small-sized package per trip, and not very far even. A New York Times article that covered Amazon's drone tests in Texas illustrates this perfectly, in which it's described that the drone could, quote, deliver Listerine breath strips or a can of Campbell's soup, but not both at the same time. Yet even with its size limitations, Amazon's drone program would provide an undeniable advantage to the company's delivery system. And one look at Amazon's patent records shows just how far they're willing to take it. In 2015, Amazon filed a patent for what was essentially a giant drone beehive. The document describes the structure as a drone-operated fulfillment center that could be built strategically throughout urban areas to deliver packages in under 30 minutes. Inside, you could find hundreds of delivery drones flying around inventory shelves and recharging before whizzing off again to go deliver toilet paper or something. Imagine how weird it would be. I mean, not only is the thing built like a beehive, it's also operated by hundreds of robots that actually sound like bees. Of course, this idea of peppering the landscape with giant concrete drone hives is kind of insane. So in case that doesn't work out, Amazon's got another plan that is actually equally as crazy. That, my friends, is Amazon's Aerial Fulfillment Center. And while the footage I just showed you is admittedly entirely fake, the legally patented schematics certainly are not. As of 2016, Amazon owns the patent to a flying drone mothership with the capacity to carry inventory, drones, and human workers. With this technology, Amazon could theoretically fly their entire warehouse to high-demand areas and dispense swarms of delivery drones from the sky. It's nuts. I mean, their idea is to basically build a giant floating warehouse in the sky like something out of a steampunk indie game. Like, are we really meant to believe that anyone in their right mind, god damn it, Walmart's doing it too? That's right, turns out Walmart patented a near identical idea back in 2017, which means this is a space that giant retailers might eventually compete in. And while the idea of Amazon and Walmart engaging in real-life dogfights over aerial real estate might be peak capitalism, it's probably best we don't let that happen. Mainly because these inventions would imply an absurd increase to the number of drones in the sky. In fact, one publication actually crunched the numbers. If the three main carrier companies in the US were to fulfill even just 10% of their daily freight by drone, we're still talking over 2.7 million drone flights per day. Did I mention they're loud? Oh, and Amazon's drones have kind of evolved from their cute little debut in 2013. They're freaking huge now. And if the FAA starts letting these things fly over people, then we're talking about a massive public safety issue. Thankfully, in the event of a mechanical failure, Amazon has also patented self-destructing drones. Which makes you wonder, is raining metal shrapnel from the sky really a safer option than having an 80-pound drone crash through your windshield? I'm not sure, but regardless, I'm not really enthusiastic about either of those outcomes. Thankfully, they're putting laws in place. For example, for safety reasons, the FAA made a law that all drones must maintain an altitude of below 400 feet. This ensures that drones are kept well out of the way from planes and well in the way of every bird ever. Guys, the writing's on the wall. We're already seeing hobbyists get their drones choke-slammed by ospreys. The impending drone-bird wars are coming, and if you're not on Team Bird, you're an op! But it's not just about public safety. There's also a decent amount of concern regarding suddenly having thousands of flying cameras in the sky, particularly when they land near your house. That's because Amazon conveniently holds the patent to a sophisticated camera system that allows their drones to, quote, record data while delivering an item. This could be things like the state of your lawn or the kind of car you drive, all of which can be utilized to gather more data on you. Now, how exactly is this legal? Well, the law varies, but generally it's not. That's why when we order our first drone delivery 6 years from now, we'll all unknowingly give consent by accepting a privacy policy none of us bothered to read. And that's basically the gist of it. If Amazon manages to surpass the remaining hurdles for drone delivery, it may not be long before we see at least some of their ideas brought to life. And with competition in the space increasing, Amazon's drones might not be the only ones in the sky either. Now, it's important to remember, the patents we discussed aren't an actual roadmap, and the future of drone delivery is still very much anyone's guess. But if it has anything to do with giant drone beehives, then please, pick me up with a drone, fly me up to the FAA-regulated altitude of 400 feet, and drop me. Since the rise of Prime, Amazon's fulfillment centers have long been criticized for their incredibly unforgiving work environments and high levels of employee surveillance. But it goes beyond just cameras. At Amazon, each individual worker is expected to meet strict quotas, and their performance metrics are electronically tracked right down to the last package. Not to mention, this work environment is made increasingly more stressful by the presence of warehouse robots, many of which are gearing up to take over our fleshy little places. Today, Amazon's reputation is infamous for its abnormally high level of workplace injuries, aggressive opposition towards unions, and its unforgiving attitude towards worker productivity. But that hasn't stopped the company from trying to invent things to make employees go even faster. Introducing Workplace Patent Number 1, a pair of augmented reality goggles that track a worker's location to help them navigate warehouses quicker. You could be walking around the warehouse and receive prompts like, take a left here, potential hazard there, or get back to work. Not to mention, it would also allow your employer to maintain precise knowledge of your location at all times. But, privacy concerns aside, the device could actually help to keep workers safe when navigating warehouse robots. Just don't forget to take them off before you head into the break room to conspire with your coworkers about unionization. Of course, what's a pair of proto-cybernetic eyes without an equally creepy set of robot hands? Here's Amazon's theoretical invention for motion tracking equipment that monitors a worker's hands when moving packages. Through the use of haptic feedback, these gloves would emit certain vibrations depending on your actions. Picking up the wrong package? Get buzzed! Picking up the right package? Get buzzed! Taking too long on your break? Receive an electric shock. Okay, I'm kidding on that last one, but even so, what Amazon initially invented as a tool to help workers find packages could also easily be abused to micromanage a worker's movements. This prompted journalists to write dozens of scathing articles on the invention. And then a little while later, Amazon let the patent expire. Coincidence? No! But there's actually a patent of Amazon's that received even worse negative press. And if you're chronically online, then there's a decent chance you've heard of it. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you patent number 0066283A1, otherwise known as the wage cage. But before we get into that, it looks like it's just about to be break time.
Employee break period commencing.
Well, what do you know? That's just the right amount of time for me to tell you about today's sponsor, Factor. Take the stress and monotony out of meal prep with delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. With Factor, all meals are fresh, never frozen, and can be heated and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. And with a weekly menu of 35 different options, there's always something new to try. My favorite part about Factor is that it's quick and convenient, a perfect complement to my fast-paced and demanding work schedule. Today I'm enjoying the red chili ground beef and tamale bowl, a fiery little Mexican-inspired dish to contrast my soul-crushingly bleak corporate existence. So if you're curious about Factor, you can head on over to factor75.com or click the link below and use code SLOWSTART50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code SLOWSTART50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Now back to the video. In 2016, Amazon's R&D team developed what some believe to be the most diabolical device in the company's 30,000 patent arsenal. The invention is described by engineers as a, quote, human transport device, intended to maneuver employees safely around warehouses. At first, the patent managed to stay hidden, but once the internet got a hold of the very sinister-looking schematics, Amazon's invention quickly became the universal online symbol for corporate dystopia. Nowadays, the wage cage has become a sort of meme, having since been parodied countless times online as a cynical representation for the worst parts of capitalism. And probably, rightfully so. The document originally describes a device that would place workers inside metal cages to autonomously move them to where they needed to go. That's right, when you're in the cage, you're not even the one driving it. You essentially become an organ of the machine, a meat sack without agency, whirring around aimlessly until human input is required. My favorite figure in the patent is the one that illustrates the imaginary route the device would take to bring an employee to the bathroom. And one Google search is about enough to realize why that's funny. But that's not all. The patent also describes fitting the worker with a virtual or physical cable that alerts the system when the worker has strayed too far from the cage. Okay, let's reel it in for a second. Now, while many of the criticisms surrounding the wage cage are absolutely justified, there is one thing we should mention. As the amount of robots in Amazon fulfillment centers increases, so do the dangers for human workers. Currently, Amazon's warehouse injury rate is nearly double the industry average, and those rates climb even higher the more robots there are. In reality, the wage cage was just one of dozens of patents Amazon published to try and improve worker safety. And unsurprisingly, this isn't the only cage they've designed. Turns out Amazon also developed inventions with a focus on workplace well-being, which included a break room meditation pod. In this idea, Amazon partnered with a third-party company to develop Amazen, a porta-potty-sized box where workers could take a break to decompress, practice meditation exercises, or scream cry. The choice is yours! But I digress. So, could the wage cage have theoretically achieved its purpose? Potentially. But where the idea might have succeeded in safety, it fails just about everywhere else. In fact, all of the workplace patents I've showcased basically send the message that Amazon has no problem treating workers like robots until they can replace them with robots. And that future might not be so far away. Meet Digit, the all-purpose humanoid robot from Agility Robotics, a company that has received millions of dollars in funding from Amazon. And although watching it fall down is very funny from a sort of go humans perspective, the unfortunate part is he's, really good at getting back up now. Today, Digit is being tested to perform simple warehouse tasks, but its skill set is expanding rapidly. No wonder Amazon sees the attraction. I mean, just listen to this one representative who shamelessly shows his ass when talking about the benefits.
This robot doesn't need to go home and see his family, doesn't need healthcare benefits, and you don't have to worry about turnover. It kind of pays for itself and it doesn't quit.
So, Could you see a world where Amazon workers are herded into cages and forced into subservience by armies of robot overlords? Well, for your sake, I hope not. And thanks to the work of investigative journalists, many of Amazon's creepiest patents have been removed from their records. But, just in case you do lose the fight and all of Amazon's nightmarish ideas come true, well hey, at least we've still got free dental. In 2014, Amazon launched Alexa, a voice-controlled smart home assistant that could directly interface with all your compatible home devices, thus forever changing the way we turn on our patio lights. As of today, there are over 140,000 Alexa-compatible appliances, which means that you now have the power to voice automate nearly everything in your home. And it also means Amazon has the power to collect deeply detailed data on how you use those appliances, so they can sell you more appliances. That's right, normally people don't even open the door to salesmen, but with Alexa, you're literally paying for one to live in your home. Depending on your level of integration, Alexa can track your voice, your appliance usage, your movements, and maybe even your bowel movements. If you have the $12,000 Alexa-compatible toilet for some reason. I hope you don't. Thanks to Alexa, Amazon can have a deeper understanding of your daily household habits than you do, and their tactics are only getting weirder. In 2021, Amazon released Astro, an in-home security robot with a creepy knack for surveillance and an alleged bad habit of throwing itself down flights of stairs. According to Amazon, Astro's prime directive is to patrol the layout of your home, scan people's faces, and alert you of any unrecognized intruders. Unless they climb through a second-story window, because Astro, he can't climb stairs. You can also use the robot to alert you of any potential hazards, like if you left the stove on while you were gone. Of course, if you did leave the stove on, Astro can't turn it off, so better get home. Amazon also demonstrates Astro's ability to follow you around while playing music, so you can listen to your favorite tunes while you go from room to room. Like headphones. Like fucking headphones! And hey, if you're a parent, well, great news. Kids love Astro. He can keep them entertained for hours with movies and games, and he's got these adorable bright eyes that can conveniently transform into the Amazon shop page. God damn it! Okay, look, Astro kind of sucks. And when it comes to protecting your home, you could probably get more home security out of an aggressive chihuahua. Think about it. If an intruder broke into your house, they'd probably be at least somewhat hesitant to hurt a dog. But with Astro, well, I take pleasure in it. Oh, and by the way, I'm not the only one who hates this thing. You know who else does? Actual people who worked on the project. Turns out Astro isn't just useless, it's also unsafe. And since 2021, multiple insider sources have expressed their disapproval with its launch. Quote, "They break themselves and will almost certainly fall downstairs in real-world homes." Quote, "Astro is terrible and will certainly throw itself down a flight of stairs if presented the opportunity." Quote, "At any given moment, it will commit on a flight of stairs." Alright, so we've established Astro sucks, and apart from a couple flashy security features, it's basically just a $1,600 tablet on wheels. But that's not setting back Amazon, who are still constantly devising tons of new ways to surveil your home. From Astro, to video cameras, to even in-home surveillance drones, almost all of which are developed by an Amazon subsidiary with a nasty track record for spying on customers. Which begs the question, is Amazon's push to normalize surveillance really beneficial to everyone? Or is it only a matter of time before it's used against us? In 2016, the company patented Amazon Recognition, a facial identification software that the company quietly began shopping around to law enforcement, Homeland Security, and the FBI. Now what the heck is a private corporation with an interest in big data doing teaming up with law enforcement in the public sector? Nothing good! Folks, forget about smart homes. How about smart cities? A place where both the government and corporations can abuse surveillance for their own gain. A place where security is the pretext used for systems of control. A place where our predicted behavior could be bought and sold. Sound crazy? Well, in some places, this collaboration between big tech and big government is well underway. In Uganda, government officials employed the help of Chinese telecom company Huawei to help turn the entire country into a surveillance state. Today, Uganda uses their facial recognition systems to arrest protesters and sabotage political uprisings that threaten the country's dictatorship. And they're not the first country to do it either. As for Amazon, their creative new business practices were considered wildly unethical. And after immense public pressure, the company finally stopped selling facial recognition to law enforcement. Except the FBI. They eventually did give it to the FBI. So what can we learn from all this? Well, if left to their own devices, corporations like Amazon can cook up some incredibly devious ideas. And they've got a public patent record to prove it. But history shows that we have a say too. Besides, it's not a coincidence that many of Amazon's sketchier patents were terminated following public outcry. Bad PR is like poison to these people, and right now, in your world, they're going through the worst of it. In September of 2023, the Federal Trade Commission teamed up with the attorney generals from 17 states to officially accuse Amazon of retail monopoly. This litigation comes as the, quote, biggest challenge to Amazon's supremacy in its 30-year history. The dispute will take years to settle, but if the FTC wins, the government could have the power to break Amazon up into smaller companies, thus potentially putting an end to Amazon's reign. But that's your world. In mine, Amazon won that lawsuit 20 years ago, and they're bigger than ever.
Attention valued employee. Your shift is complete.
Well, that's my cue. Hey, good luck to you. Honey, I'm home! And guess what? I got promoted! You know what? I think things are finally looking up.